focused. Give it everything.
It's going to be so close.
This is very tight. We're going wheel to wheel.
I'm going for it.
Through goes Hamilton.
It's not over yet.
Max Verstappen, champion of the world. Four-time champion of the world.
Oh my God, what a season.
Took me over like a fever.
Next year's going to be my year too.
Caught you hiding in the smoke, smoke, smoke. Like a meteor, I'll glow.
You don't know until that pressure's on whether they can really bring their A game.
We dreamed alone, but together we believed.
It's the most exciting time of my life.
Lay your red hand on me, baby. In the sea.
If you were to put your money on one of them right now, who would it be? Has landed.
You know what that is? Simply lovely.
Morning, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast back at home. We are nearing the end of the day here, and it's been a lovely day as well. The first day of action of the new season. So much to talk about. It's been done under bright blue skies here in Melbourne at Albert Park. And Naomi and I have been, we were excited before the start of the day. I think we're even more excited afterwards, aren't we, after what we've seen today?
It's been a great day, and honestly, the buzz in the paddock all day has just been wonderful. I mean, I know you've been here for a very, very long time, Simon. I mean, a really, really long time.
Really long time, yeah.
How does this start of the
years.
season compare to others?
I'm very excited. It really, there's something different, isn't there, this year, because of the amount of rookies that have come in. We'll talk about them later, but also just it feels refreshed. It feels like Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari has invigorated them. It's invigorated him, and it's just, I suppose, it's just one of those years where you feel like anything could happen.
100%. Look, we've spoiled with so many storylines going into this season, and Lewis, absolutely. I mean, there's a magic in the air. When we saw that car come past us in the pit lane earlier this morning, it was just so surreal to see the 44 on the red car, and there were so many cameras outside the garage just waiting to get a glimpse of Lewis getting into the car ahead of the start of the day, and yeah, it just feels magical.
I love that helmet, his yellow helmet, you know, set against the red of the car, and he went out there. We'll bring you up to date on what happened a little bit later. I know we can bring you the sights and sounds back home. One thing that you can't get through the TV are the smells, and I think that this is the nicest smelling paddock I've been in the 14 years, and it's down to this. They've imported a load of jasmine. It doesn't just smell, by the way, of diesel around here and petrol. It's just gorgeous. It's lovely, lovely smell to the place. Late summer sunshine as well. Yeah, I mean, for you, we go out to the fan zone, I think, in a few moments' time, because we were going to send David Croft out there, but he gets mobbed. So instead, we've sent Ted and Rachel. What can you tell us both?
Yes, thank you, Simon. I thought I would take a little stroll out with Ted to see what we could find and what's on offer for the fans this weekend, because they are always brilliant here. They've been lining the track 3, 4, 5 deep, and now that's their chance to relax.
And such a beautiful afternoon here as the sun starts to go down. Look what I've found. He might not be with us anymore, Rachel, and we do miss him, but Daniel Ricciardo has his own stand selling his wine and his merchandise. So here in spirit, enchanté to Daniel Ricciardo. And how much do you think we miss him? The first Australian Grand Prix that we've had for quite a while without Daniel Ricciardo. You can even get one of the tattoos that Daniel famously has.
Is it still open?
In here.
I fancy going in and
We
getting a tattoo.
do miss him though, don't we? Don't you think?
I fancy going in and getting a tattoo. Let's talk. Look, we've got some fans. Oh, look, everybody runs away. No, 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 not me. You look like you're ready to chat. What's your name?
Alessia.
Alessia. And are you local to Melbourne, or where have you come from?
I'm from Canada, but I live in Melbourne.
You're from Canada, live in Melbourne.
Yep.
Okay, first race here?
Yes.
And how's it been so far?
It's been amazing.
How many rosés have we had over here?
About 5.
Oh, well, that's all right. Between 3 of you, that's absolutely fine. We've got some young fans down here. So you're cheering for McLaren this weekend. This is McLaren colours, McLaren hat.
Not McLaren. I cheer for Max Verstappen, Red Bull.
Okay, why's that?
Just because I feel like do Max Verstappen, do.
We get singing as well, Ted.
We do, and actually on the outside of the Danny Rick, there is a strange thing where you can say dial for Dan. I'm not quite sure what happens when you dial for Dan. What happens? Is Daniel on the other end of this?
Yeah, he is. He talks about his new rosé.
Oh, great, fantastic. Yeah. Well, we might miss Daniel Ricciardo, but as you say, the fan experience here is brilliant. They're expecting 400,000 over the weekend. The only slight complication might be that they might get wet on Sunday because we're expecting some changeable Melbourne weather. But otherwise, it's a great atmosphere here.
It is indeed. They're going to enjoy the sunshine today and tomorrow, and then, yes, Sunday, batten down the hatches. But I think we're in for a brilliant race, and that will make up for all of it.
Yep. Danny Rick, we miss you, but we're making up for it down here.
Yeah, with, of course, the two Aussies on the grid. Jack Doohan did really well today, actually, and was better than his teammate in both sessions. We'll come on to that, though. This is the 2025 calendar as it lines up. Double-header to start with, then a triple-header with Japan. Bahrain and Saudi have moved because of Ramadan. Silverstone is on July the 6th. We've got two more in Europe before the summer break in Belgium and Hungary. Return with Netherlands and Italy afterwards. Then we get into the flyaway, starting with Azerbaijan, and we finish with a triple header that is Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, slightly earlier on Saturday night for the Vegas Grand Prix this year. Right, okay, let's bring you up to date with everything that has happened so far overnight, if you're back in the UK, with the help of Crofty and crew.
And you join us, Simon, at a very apt moment because Karun Chandhok is actually at the Sky Pad rather than chasing around talking to drivers. You've just caught Charles Leclerc. Did he have a good day or a bad day?
He had a very good day, and I think we can tell people why. But no, he sounded pretty optimistic. Still think it's going to rain on Sunday. So.
Right, let's have a look at today's sessions then. FP1 and FP2, and it's glorious conditions, and that's a glorious sight for many as well. Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari red about to... a little pat on the car there. Go out onto the racetrack proper at a Grand Prix weekend. There's the man that's replaced him at Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton 40, Kimi Antonelli 18, and Lewis Lawson in the Liam Lawson in the middle, not having the best of days. Isaac Hadjar was more of a surprise with his pace, though.
Yeah, this was the drivers getting ready for the start of FP1. 6 full season rookies here, which is brilliant to see. A whole lot of fresh blood coming in. Liam Lawson touched the wall on the entry to turn 9. No real damage done there, but at no point did the Red Bull look particularly dialed in.
I wonder if that damaged Liam Lawson's confidence more than it did the car. Jack Doohan, meanwhile, with a bit of damage to his car after going through that gravel trap, and that caused the first red flag of the day while they swept the gravel up and a bit of debris as well. Now, on board with Ollie Behrman, going through turn 10, and it all goes wrong, Karun.
Gets a snap of oversteer at the apex of 10. That puts him wide on the gravel on the outside. He tried to hang on to it, but a little bit too long. The car snapped around on him as it came off the grass and then into the barrier there. A lot of damage, Crofty, done the 2 right-hand corners, but crucially, also the engine at a very early stage of the season, of course.
As opening days go, it couldn't have got much worse for Ollie Behrman. This was a bit more innocuous for George Russell. First of 2 spins for him, that one down at turn 4. Now, this is the start of the second practice session. Liam Lawson cutting into the queue. Lando Norris was trying to do a practice start, and he didn't like the fact that Lawson had cut past him, so he muscled his way out onto the track. But on the track, there's the McLaren lacking a bit of handling.
There was a tailwind down into turn 3, and Lando wasn't the last driver to struggle down there. This is Pierre Gasly in a whole load of traffic trying to start their laps. And we saw various drivers bunching up in that final sector. Lance Stroll, meanwhile, down at turn 1, again with that tailwind, pushing him wide of the apex and across the grass.
Yeah, trying to get a bit closer to the fans. There was Lance Stroll on board now with Isaac Hadjar, and there is the McLaren right in his way. And if that happens in qualifying, that is a definite penalty for impeding. Back now to the Alpine of Jack Doohan. Check the floor, he said after this one. It was bouncing around like a kangaroo over the curbs, and it did do a little bit of damage.
But he did a very good job ahead of Pierre Gasly in both the free practice sessions on home ground. Charles Leclerc, he was ahead of everybody, Crofty, at the top of the times for Ferrari today.
Was fastest in FP2 last year, was fastest in FP2 this year by about 0.8 of a second quicker. Lando Norris was quickest in FP1, the only driver in the last 20 Grand Prix to be quickest in FP1 and go on and win that race. It was Zandvoort last year. I don't know if that's an omen or not, because I think we're still guessing as to exactly what the pecking order is.
But for the home hero, Oscar Piastri, second fastest today, ahead of Lando Norris. Lewis Hamilton, at the end of his first day in red, ended up 4 tenths behind Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, he did. Let's bring up to date with the FP2 times as well, because as they mentioned there, it was 6/10 between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc in FP1, 4/10 in the second session. On the performance runs, these nothing really to choose between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Isaac Hadjar, probably the pick of the rookies today. Both of those racing bulls ahead of the Red Bulls. Max Verstappen could only manage 7th. Hulkenberg with a good day, Lance Stroll ahead of Fernando Alonso, and George Russell, both of those Mercedes, perhaps with a little bit of head scratching to do as well. Kimi Antonelli only down in 16th, but as I mentioned, Jack Doohan ahead of Pierre Gasly in both of those, so he'll have been enjoying that. Right, let's hear from both of the Ferrari drivers, starting with Lewis Hamilton.
Firstly, it's super exciting build up to this week, and felt amazing to get out there and be in a Ferrari here. I mean, honestly, the car felt so much different to what I've ever experienced coming to this track. So took a little bit of betting in through P1. P2 is definitely a little better, but just building. But we're slowly building and getting a little bit faster, bit by bit.
When you say different, good different?
Just different.
Okay.
Just a lot different. But the car doesn't feel bad or anything. It's just, yeah, it just requires a different way of driving. So adjusting my driving style bit by bit, and but enjoying driving.
Honestly, we did a good preparation work because the feeling with the car was good. I mean, there's obviously things that we need to improve, as always, and I'm not very happy with the balance yet, but we are in a much better place compared to Bahrain testing, and there's still, some performance to find. But that's the same for everybody in the paddock. I mean, those cars are pretty new for everyone, and so you've got to push it to understand where exactly is the limit. But it's been a solid first day. Now we've got to wait and see how it goes tomorrow when we push a bit more.
Well, I wonder whether that represents a good day at the office for Lewis. He was saying just building his way into it, Naomi. 6/10 and 4/10, if he can close out to a couple of tenths within show. What represents a good weekend, do you think, for him against the established Ferrari guy?
Well, firstly, I just want to say I'm very happy to hear Lewis speaking that way there, because, it's easy to get very impatient. There's a lot of expectation on this moment, and there's inevitably going to be so much comparison between the two of them. But as he's saying, there's a lot to adapt to. We forget that even though driving is in these drivers' DNA and it's a subconscious effort from them, there's still so many small things that they do need to adapt to. And as he said, their driving style is one of them for him with this car. So that's going to take a bit of time, and sooner than we think, I think we'll see those two going head to head, and I think that's all that's going to be important this year.
Okay, only a couple of hundredths between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris in that second practice session. Let's hear from you both.
You're looking confident out there. How did it feel?
So-so. I think it's been a good start. It's a good start to the weekend. I think we've got a good baseline, but certainly not happy, not confident with the car in terms of finding the best balance and being consistent enough, especially on low fuel. I feel like high fuel, I felt good. Just low fuel, yeah, still similar to Bahrain. Too many inconsistencies, too many problems, so a bit of a struggle.
Is it too early to assume that you'll have a positive performance this year?
I mean, I don't know what positive means, but I think we'll be strong. I think, like we said the whole time, we'll be strong, Ferrari will be strong, Mercedes. I don't know, so we'll wait and see.
Hi, Oscar. First day on track in 2025. How was it out there for you today?
I would say pretty encouraging. I think the pace was pretty solid. Still a few things to try and iron out and make the car feel a bit nicer, but I think the underlying pace seems strong. So pretty happy with the day's work. I think it's going to be pretty different for the next 2 days, so how much today means we don't know, but it feels pretty good.
Do you feel confident that you might end up on the podium at your home race?
It's hard to say. The weather's going to be pretty different on Sunday, and that's going to throw some spanners in the works, but I think the underlying pace of the car seems strong. So Ferrari have looked pretty quick today, and Mercedes at other points as well. So I think things are looking good, but we don't want to just try and aim for the podium. We want to aim for the top step.
I get the feeling, I don't know about you, it's between Ferrari and McLaren on Saturday. I think so, but then I suppose one of them's going to have to take a risk about whether they strap on a bit more downforce if we think it's going to rain on Sunday.
That's the really tricky thing around here, is that we're expecting it to be so hot tomorrow, which is a true contradiction to what we're expecting for Sunday. So I don't know which way they're going to split it. Obviously, the weather in Melbourne is always so unpredictable, so you almost don't even want to preempt a rain that might not ever even come. I think it's important for them to find out what performance they truly have and just focus on tomorrow's performance. But yes, it's looking really tight between Ferrari and McLaren. Who do you think is going to come out on top there?
I don't know. I mean, we were talking about this. Karun, well, he lied to us. Last year, he said he thought it was going to be Oscar Piastri was going to come out on top. But he changed his mind, didn't he? He's now saying that he feels like Lando will get the better of him. I think when you look at their performances last year, you know, he was just in the race, wasn't it? I mean, yeah, you know, I said just in the race. He did out-qualify him quite convincingly on Saturdays. But when it came to the race, more often than not, it was finding that consistency for Oscar that was his difficulty, wasn't it? And I think if he's gonna beat him, he needs to get an early season lead.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely, I agree. And I think Oscar would have gone away from last year with a few weaknesses that he would have identified that he needs to fix. But I think he's got it in him, you know. Whether it's this year, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. But honestly, I think when you put the two of them in race situation, I also think that Lando had a little work to do last year within his racecraft. So he's been quick, he's proven that. But head-to-head against the best, will he come out on top? Hopefully he's had something to learn from last year.
We were sat, weren't we, in McLaren, having a quick word with Rob Marshall, their chief designer, and Martin was complimenting him on another beautiful-looking car. There's so much detail on that McLaren. It feels like they've added to it. Feels like from testing that they were the best car, but Lando was at pains to point out he had the best of the conditions on his long run that everybody's judging everything by. Right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be hearing from the rookies. Myself and Naomi took them for a spot of bowling in St Kilda yesterday.
What's up, Sky Sports from South Africa?
From Italy.
Galway.
I'm Kiwi.
Philippines. What am I most excited for is the rookies.
So many new rookies.
It's all the rookies that are going to join in the grid.
Especially the Kiwi. Oh, good luck.
He's phenomenal. Ollie Berman in the ass. I feel very prepared.
Seeing how Liam copes in this blast of viciousness in Formula 1.
Gabriel Bortoletto, the reigning back-to-back champion.
Which rookie will be the first one to bring home a trophy?
We've got Lewis at Ferrari.
Lewis Hamilton's driving an Ferraris.
There's a lot of excitement.
It'll be amazing to see him in red.
Battling it out against Charles Leclerc.
And I've joined the Tifosi. It is still very surreal.
I'm also really looking forward to Silverstone.
The British Grand Prix.
No way.
Yes, way.
Matteo will be back.
We hope that we can be higher up in the ranking.
Wheel-to-wheel action between Max and Lando.
This dude.
Being a challenger to Max Verstappen.
Can win his first championship in Formula 1.
Next year's going to be my year too.
I have followed Fernando Alonso since the first day he drove an F1 car.
Carlos and Blue.
Really intrigued to see where Williams come in all of this.
The championship.
What a move! The drama.
The battle.
The on-track excitement.
I'm kind of expecting chaos in this all-or-nothing year.
Simply lovely.
Do you have any other comments?
No comment.
She's doing a Max Verstappen. No comment.
Problem with my voice.
Buzzing for the season to start.
Grand Prix 2025.
Let's make it happen!
Come on, Hamilton.
It's going to be an amazing year.
Come on, bring it on.
Bye. Max Verstappen.
Welcome back to the F1 show from Down Under. Thank you to all the fans for sending in those videos. It's always great to hear from you. And just like us, you all seem to be so excited about the rookies. And isn't it a good thing we've got plenty of them? Well, Simon and I, ahead of this pressure cooker weekend for them, decided to take them for a good old game of bowls.
Everybody loves the sunshine. Folks get down in the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine.
Right, lads, you're about to embark on your first seasons in the fastest sport in the world. So what we thought we'd do on the eve of that to settle you all down, something a little bit more sedate.
The slowest sport in the
Yeah,
world.
there's no way.
Exactly.
So the question is, have any of you guys played yet?
No, never in my life.
Right, okay, we're going to split down the middle. We'll be de facto captains. I'll take you, Ollie, and you, Isaac. What do you want to do, reds or greens?
We have ultra soft. Let's go green.
We're going green, okay? We're green, Ollie.
We're trying to hit this white.
So we're going to try and hit the little white thing at the
Hit
end.
it or not hit it?
Well, yeah, get it as close,
as close
to
as
it as possible, right? It's quite nerve-wracking.
Here we go. But he left his spin off.
I think that's quite good.
No way.
That's not great, Simon. You've just knocked the jack.
How did you just do that?
How did I do it? Well, I'm quite old.
Oh, it's too fast. It's too fast.
I think it's going to go in the gutter. Oh, it's in the gutter.
Ooh,
oh, look at this guy.
Now.
You see, I told you he was going to be good at
Yes, Isaac.
It's not stopping.
In the gutter, in the gutter, in the gutter.
No.
We got two. We got two.
Oh, what's happened there?
Not that way.
Not that way.
It's like an egg.
It's not a circle.
Who wants to go first this time?
I'll go
on,
first.
Gnomes. That's a good start.
Oh, too much.
Gutter.
Oh.
That was so fast.
Hit Naomi. Hit Naomi.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, it's 1-1. So why don't we play nearest the jack, individual to decide it, yeah? There's a lot of pressure on this.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Was. You can cut the tension with a spoon, can't you, ahead of the decider on
Other
Sunday.
than my very impressive bowl skills, what were you most impressed with, Simon?
I tell you what, they are a really good bunch. I think Isaac Hadjar is going to be a cult figure. There's a little bit of the Yukis about him, and he's paired with Yuki. I mean, you've heard rumours, and those that have watched F2 last year will probably be aware that he's not shy, is he, over team radio?
No, it does seem that he has a flamboyant effect over the radio. I think that is either the French or the Algerian culture coming through, maybe the pair of the two, but he's such a cool, calm character. I can't imagine. It's almost exactly like Yuki. You know, when you see him in the paddock, he's chilled, he's lovely, he's funny, and then when they get in the car, they just go a little nuts.
I mean, Jack Doohan, very, very earnest and really lovely bloke. And Kimi Antonelli, chatterbox, he didn't shut up, did he? Which was great. We like to see that, and we hope that remains. Ollie Bearman, also a fantastic young man. He brought all of his family here. He's got his grandparents, he's got his mum, his dad, and then today in FP1, he did that at turn 10. Huge amount of damage to the car. They had to change all the corners. It's a fresh gearbox, it's a fresh power unit. And he was upset about that, no doubt about it. He said sorry to the team. They asked if he was okay, but it was a big job to get that Haas working again. He just about made it out for the second practice session, but alas, couldn't quite. So it's going to be a busy day for him tomorrow, no doubt about it. He's going to have to start again. This is what he made of it all.
Ollie, obviously a really difficult day out there. Just talk me through that moment when you had that off, because I thought you were going to catch it till the very last minute.
Yeah, me too. A bit sad to have missed all the running today. The guys did a great job to try and get the car back out. We just ran out of time. But yeah, I just had a small mistake in turn 10, which put me a bit wide. And out there, it's very, very bumpy. Unfortunately, lost the car.
Traditionally, you go well on these kind of high-speed circuits. Do you feel like you can kind of claw it back, or do you feel like it's really going to hurt you for the rest of the weekend?
No, it's for sure not over. I struggled a little bit, but I really felt confident in the car. Maybe too much. But, you know, I really felt at home and nice in the car. I was building up really nicely, and, you know, the mistake was unfortunate. Yeah, by no means over. FP3 is a long session, and then into qualifying. And the race will be a bit of a roll of the dice, it looks like, at the moment.
Feel for him.
I do too. I mean, it's never the way you want to start a weekend ever, particularly not on your first day of your first permanent season in Formula One. It's as a driver, you'll go away with your tail between your legs, and it's just not the way you want to start.
It's a test of character for him. That's the thing, isn't it? When you look at someone like Isaac, who's had such a good day today with both of those RBs in the top 10 in the second practice session, it's how he responds to that. It'll be weighing on his mind all night, won't it?
It definitely will, but you know, they would have had experience with this before. It's not because it's their first year in F1 that it will be their first crash like this. He'll have all of the, you know, ingredients within him to be able to turn the page, and tomorrow, as he said, nothing is over just yet. But what's inevitable is that he did have the worst day of the rookies so far, but I think probably the one who had the best day in the office was Isaac Hadjar. So why don't we hear from him as well as both of the Red Bull drivers?
Yeah, for sure, we did look really good, but to be honest, it's my first Friday, right? So I don't know how the other teams are going to react tomorrow. But the most important is that I feel comfy.
Yeah, comfortable, just too slow. So yeah, we obviously have a lot of work to do overnight. Obviously, you know, day one on a new track, we're expecting to have some work to do, but probably not this much. So yeah. We'll obviously work on it overnight and then try and improve it for tomorrow.
The balance wasn't even completely out, like no massive or major problems, but somehow the grip was not coming alive, and yeah, just struggling on all 4 tires really in sector 1 in the last sector, and yeah, that means of course that we are not really up there at the moment.
Okay, well, I'm down here with team principals of Red Bull Racing and Racing Bulls. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to get your feeling on the first day back at work, you know, first day of official practice. How do we read into it today?
Well, look, it's always good to be back and good to be racing again, and exciting to be back in Melbourne. It's always sort of the first show, the first day back at school almost. So yeah, you know, you can see that it's going to be very competitive this year.
How much do you feel we can read into today's performances?
I think you get a trend. You can see, you know, cars that look competitive. You can see some surprises in there. I think, you know, these guys had a good day today. It's a unique little circuit, this one, but yeah, I think that there's areas that we need to focus on. You don't know what fuel levels and power levels people ran, but yeah, you get an indication.
Laurent, picking up on what Christian said there, it's been a great day in the office for you guys today. How does it feel?
You know, it was a good day, you know, especially having Isaac in the car for the first time. You know, being a rookie here with all the pressure, city tracks, the rain coming for Sunday, it's a lot to go through. He only had 1 day of testing actually with Christian's teams before getting into Bahrain, so it's still very much in the learning phase, but he did a good job. He's comfortable in the car. Yuki was also quite at ease today, and it gave us a good baseline. As Christian said, don't read too much into the lap time, but certainly we feel we can do our homework and try to get there for tomorrow.
Now, the rookies are a huge talking point coming into this season, and I know there's a lot of hesitation around calling Liam a rookie going into this.
I think
but
11 races, he's still a rookie.
Still a rookie, definitely his rookie season, and of course first year in your team. So I just want to get a feeling, like, how are your new drivers adapting to your teams?
Yeah, look, I mean, Liam, it's a big step up. Being Max's teammate is probably the toughest job in Formula One. But he's got the mental aptitude and strength of character to deal with that. And he's not been here before. I think he's the only driver on the grid that hasn't done some laps around this circuit. But yeah, he's finding his feet, and he's giving very good feedback. He's settling in nicely. So you know, we'll see over the next few races.
What about Isaac? How is he keeping up?
You know, as we said, he has been doing a very good job so far. We really try to isolate him from all the noise outside. It's important that he gets the laps. It's important that he gets comfortable in the car and that he takes things step by step. It's a long weekend. It's a long season, so we really try to make sure that he gets at ease with the car.
Now, I just want to pick up on what you said, Christian, because we know that Max has had 5 teammates at his time at Red Bull, and they've all had a tough time being Max's teammate. There's a lot of pressure that goes into it. So what words of advice are you giving to Liam, you know, so early on in his career in Formula One?
I think mainly is just focus on himself, you know, that almost ignore what's going on with the other car, just focus on himself, on working with his engineers and extracting the best that he can. And you know, he's got a steep learning curve. But everything that we've seen in the junior formula, in the testing that he's done with us, he's got the ability to take that on and grow. So yeah, we just got to give him time.
Now, a word on your #1 driver. How's he feeling after today in the car?
I think there's some areas that we need to improve on. I think that the timesheet isn't a true representation of where everybody is at the moment. It's an indication, but yeah, we've got some areas that we need to improve. Yeah, you know, with the prospect of rain as well, you got some dilemmas to do. Do you focus on Sunday setup or?
Do you think you'll be praying for rain?
I'll tell you tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I know there's a lot of work to be done ahead of the first qualifying of the year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, a bit more head scratching, I think, for Christian Horner this evening. The rest of the Red Bull team, apart from Laurent Mekies, who did really well with those Racing Bulls today. Right, thank you to all those fans that sent their videos in, predictions for the season. There was one piece, though, that was left on the cutting room floor, which we feel we must show you.
What am I most excited for? Is the rookies. I am so excited for the rookies, and most especially for Kimi Antonelli. But the real question we should be asking ourselves, is Liam Lawson a rookie? If so, Karun, are you making a comeback? Let's make it happen!
And that, of course, is reference to the fact that they've competed in the same amount of Formula One races. Another one, Karun, sorry, alas, spat out by Dr. Marco and the Red Bull system. Has he been back on the phone to you or not? Is that it? You kaput, you're ended now. It's officially over.
I'm not sure I want to be teammate of Max Verstappen, the teammate killer, but...
What, are you saying if Helmut Marko gave you the call, you'd say no?
Oh, no, I'll be there in a heartbeat, let's be honest.
Of course you would.
Of course I would.
You'd be the only one left in the Red Bull development program they haven't used yet.
There's a few. I saw Tonio Liuzzi, you know, he's kicking around, and there's Enrique Benaldi's here.
Exactly, but look at this. Back in 2010, our friends at Autosport have put up this graphic. Vitaly Petrov, Kamui Kobayashi, Lucas Di Grassi, Bruno Senna, where are they now? Nico Hülkenberg, well, he's still racing.
Yeah.
And then look at you in the middle. You haven't aged a bit.
Oh, thanks. You've got a few greys. I blame having children for that.
No, but there you were, young, keen, waiting to get out on the track, and after 11 races, your career ended. Are you still a rookie?
I am still a rookie because I didn't finish the season, and the same as Liam Lawson. I would technically still be a full season rookie.
Helmut Marko has been talking a lot about the rookies, not just Karun Chandhok, calling Gabriel Bortoleto a B-grade driver. I mean, Jack Doohan was a C-grade driver, and he was part of the Red Bull stable a while back as well. So let's have a little listen to what Gabriel and Fernando Alonso, whose stable Gabriel's part of, thought of Dr. Marko's comments.
I think Helmut has to defend his drivers. But I think the facts are a little bit stronger than Helmut's words, and I think maybe it refers to last year F2 with Isaac and Gabriel. You know, they finished 1-2. They both have incredible talent, and they both are in Formula One, which is a great sign. And you know, let's see what the future brings. I hope for both, you know, to have a very long and successful career. But I think what Gabriel did, winning F3 and F2 in his rookie seasons, I think only Stoffel or Oscar, you know, were able to do, or George. So, you know, I think future will tell, but happy and proud of Gabriel.
I have, to be honest, respect for him, for the achievements with the drivers that he put, like Max Verstappen, that for me, it's one of the greatest of the sport. And everyone can have opinions, and we live in a free world. I think he has his opinions about me. I think I proved myself to be in Formula One. I won Formula 3 and Formula 2 as a rookie. And I'm going to prove him wrong with time. It's just a matter of time. Nothing I can say to the media right now that will change his mind, because he's just talking and talking. But only thing I can do now is head to the track and prove that his argument was wrong. And hopefully, with time, he will admit that, okay, my opinion wasn't right, and he will regret what he said.
He will regret what he said. Fernando Alonso forgot Charles Leclerc, who also won F3, F2 in successive seasons. Bortoleto's done that. Does he deserve a bit more respect?
100%. He's the reigning F2 champion. He deserves a seat in F1, and I think he's done an excellent job so far. Looked very, very solid out there on track. You know, no headline-grabbing times, but he's not in a car that's going to necessarily grab the headlines, right? So I think he's done an excellent job and fully deserves his place. I think for me, the Red Bull program is really interesting, right? When I joined it back in 2007, there was a massive run of drivers. You know, the program was huge. They had drivers across so many different categories and multiple drivers across different categories. They narrowed that whole program down, And if you look in recent times, you know, they had to go and look outside the program, get Perez in. They had to, you know, Tsunoda's come really through the Honda connection in. You know, they didn't have that wide funnel like they used to. And all of a sudden, they've kind of been scratching around, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've plucked Liam in really too soon, I think. You know, I think they should have, in an ideal world, had Liam at Racing Bulls for a full season, with Hadjar as a reserve maybe. But they didn't have that pipeline. They haven't created the pipeline like they did with the Vettels, the Ricardos, Kvyats. That pipeline has gone from 10 years ago. It's coming back now. Guillaume Roquelin, who used to be Sebastian Vettel's race engineer, is now overseeing the driver program. We've just seen him go talk to Arvid Lindblad, who's in F2, and he's the next one coming. So I think Rocky will do a good job, but it will take a little bit of time for them to create that pipeline once again.
Gabriel Bortoleto, we saw just a few moments ago, he is loving every single bit of today and said himself it was a solid day, which is what he needed. He's the B-grade driver. There's only one C-grade rookie, and that's C for Chandhok, ladies and gentlemen. He's our man.
He's born at the wrong time, clearly, because if the cupboard is bare now, he might have had a longer run at things. Sorry about that, Karun, but there we go. Right, when we come back, we're going to hopefully hear from George Russell, but also from the boss, Stefano Domenicali, who signed a 5-year contract extension, leading it so well this new era of Formula One. He'll be with us and in charge since the end of 2029. F1 Fantasy is a free-to-play game where you can compete with players from all over the world for incredible F1 prizes. Manage your $100 million cost cap to build a dream team of 5 drivers and 2 constructors in a bid to maximise points each race weekend. Points are awarded and deducted based on real-life performances of your teams and drivers. Mamma mia, mamma mia. With additional points available for fastest lap, fastest pit stop and more. Pick one of your drivers to receive a DRS boost, which will double their score for any given Grand Prix. Create up to 3 teams and make 2 free transfers ahead of every weekend. But be quick, your selections will be locked in before qualifying begins. Head to the F1 app and log in or register with your F1 account to get started. Then join our Sky Sports F1 League and make sure you're following our social channels for fantasy tips from our F1 experts. Good luck. Yeah, get part of the action. Have done yours yet?
Not yet.
No.
As per lastminute.com kind of thing.
I've got my Apple ID password, so I need to get that figured out before I can log on to that and set one up. But it'd be a pleasure if you could. I think maybe George Russell will be part of your team. Was he what? $21 million it looked like? Here he is talking to Rachel, who's worth double that.
Well, George, it's really good to see you.
You too.
It feels like the Norfolk coast right now.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it was beautiful sunshine yesterday, and I was just looking there. It literally feels like I'm back in King's Lynn, to be honest. So.
Testing's so hard to read,
Yes.
and I know they're cooler temperatures, but how are you feeling about the car and about the season?
Oh, I can't wait, to be honest. It's like the car's definitely performing better than ever at the moment. Is it going to be a championship winner? Honestly speaking, I think that's a long shot, but things change quick in this sport. But you know, right now, McLaren are definitely the team to beat.
If I can ask you to do something, just close your eyes,
All right.
visualise 2025 for me.
Okay.
What does it look like?
What does it look like?
You've
thrown me straight in there, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've thrown me straight in there. I like to take it race by race. I never like to look too far ahead. And this weekend, you know, I believe we can fight for victory. And I'm going to go into every single race weekend believing that, because there's no point going into any weekend believing that you're defeated before you even start. Nobody could have told the fans or told people in the sport after 6 races last year that Red Bull wouldn't be winning the championship and Lando would be in the fight for the championship. So things change so quickly.
When you shut your eyes just now,
Excuse me.
did you see a picture of yourself on a podium or holding a trophy?
Oh, of course. Last year we had a very difficult season and we stood on the top step 3 times last year, and I don't see why we can't achieve more this year.
Everyone's talking about this leadership role you're in now in the team. Leading the team, helping Kimi, 9 years younger than you, which is horrible because we still see you as the young
I feel
guys.
young.
But
I'm 27. I still feel like I've got many
believe
years
me,
left.
you are young.
Yeah.
I can sit here and say that. Well, what does this leadership role look like? How are you seeing it?
For me, it feels like quite a natural, evolution. It's my 4th year with the team, 7th year in Formula One, and I feel as a Formula One driver, you have to be a bit of a leader, regardless if you're the elder driver of the two or the younger driver of the two. You know, Mercedes has 2,000 people, and we are one of 2 people who get to drive the car that everybody pours their heart and soul into developing and creating. You know, Kimi's coming in, he's 18 years old, but he's blooming quick. And, you know, I'm excited.
Worryingly quick for you?
You know, I've had a 7-time world champion as my teammate, so I believe in myself, but I'm not going in believing that you will wipe the floor with an 18-year-old just because he's 18, because I think it's going to be an exciting year to see how he progresses, and you've got to treat everybody with respect.
How big a year is this for you? I know your contract's up at the end of 2025. Does it build into something bigger, or does it feel the same as any year?
No, it feels the same as any year, to be honest. I believe in myself, and the results do the talking, and I think that's why you need to not even think about a bigger picture. If you perform, you know, everything works out the way it's meant to. So, you know, I feel in a really positive place because I feel that I'm driving better than ever.
Can't wait to see how it unfolds. Good stuff.
Cheers.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
Nor can we, but it was a difficult day, I think, for Mercedes. They had a very good test. George Russell described it as seamless, and then in their performance runs in the second practice session, they're 10th for George, who was about 8.5 tenths off Charles Leclerc, and if you look further down, Antonelli in 6th, about a further 3 tenths back. So I just wonder, as Christian was saying, we don't know the fuel modes, we don't know the engine modes or whatever right now, but yeah, perhaps not the smoothest of days for them.
I don't think this is what we were anticipating from them. After testing, it looked like things were going to be pretty straightforward for them. But look, the gaps are so close. So if there is things like engine modes that need to be switched, that can really have a big effect. You know, when it's so tight, just a few tenths will make a huge difference. But look, it's a long season. We've seen it been turned around so quickly. Tomorrow's another day, FP3. What do you make of it?
Well, from today, I think we just saw actually he's coming out here now. The guy coming out in the glasses, that is Gwen Le Gru. Now, Gwen is in charge of the Mercedes Young Driver program, and he's the man that discovered Kimi Antonelli. He's brought him through from karting. He rates him. He thinks that, agrees. I spoke to him in the off-season. He thinks that he is. He's whispered it. A very big talent. He wasn't prepared to say, you know, he's on the level of Max Verstappen. He's keeping his cards close to his chest. But he's definitely coming in with a big reputation, isn't he? And he just had that aura about him when we spoke to him yesterday at the rookies thing for the bowls. But, yeah, first of all, you've got to compare yourself against George. And I think George is ready to be a team leader, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. Look, going up against George is not going to be easy. As highly rated as he is, as much as he's been compared to some of the greatest of the sport, he's still a young driver. He's still got to get up to grips with everything, and I think we need to just be patient with him, you know, not put too much pressure on him too early. But I do trust the work of Gwen Le Gru. I mean, he's brought some incredible drivers into Formula One. He's been watching them from a very young age, and I don't doubt the work that he's doing behind the scenes.
Quite the beef between George Russell and Max Verstappen, which kind of rumbles on from Qatar from last year, you have to say, is that at least with George, you get the feeling that if he is in a championship fight with him, he's the kind of guy that, you know, kind of stick up for himself.
Kind of guy that will stick up for himself. So I think that beef hopefully will be squashed very soon. But anyway, in other hot news this week, Simon, we've got President and CEO Stefano Domenicali, who signed a 5-year extension with Formula One. So let's hear what he had to say to Martin earlier.
Stefano, lovely to see you in this amazing paddock for the first race of the year. I can't imagine there was much doubt, but congratulations on your new 5-year contract to continue running F1.
Martin, thank you. There is a journey that is very fascinating. I have the duty to make sure that there is a synthesis and taking the sport in the direction that we believe is right, to make sure that our fans keep loving us, and with the same love that we share with them.
So what's the master plan over the next 5 years then, in terms of the racing, the championships, where we're going to go racing?
Well, I think that the good thing that we were able to do in the last couple of years is to focus on the place that we do believe represent the future for Formula One. We receive a lot of attention from other places in the world. By the way, just finishing the race here in Melbourne, I go to Bangkok to see there is a potential interest from the government to develop something there. And we have other places in Europe And as you know, there are interests in Africa, there are interests in South America now.
What are you expecting this year? How excited are you about this?
I'm very excited because I had the feeling that there will be more drivers, more teams that will fight. 5 new drivers into the field with their enthusiasm, new energy that they are bringing into the paddock, in the relationship. And on the track, there will be, I would say, something spectacular. I think that we're going to see every race, different situation.
Lewis, in a Ferrari, you were the boss at Ferrari for a long time. How hard will it be for him to integrate himself into that team that you know so well?
Well, I think that for sure for Lewis is a new journey. It's a new journey that will give him a lot of boost, a lot of energy. I think that the adjustment that he has to do, not only on the driving side of the cars, which for sure is a different one, but also in terms of integrating himself in a different community, will be easy. When you have inside the right fire to make sure that this experience will be positive, you're gonna dedicate yourself night and day. And that's what he's doing. He told me that he's sleeping in Maranello. He told me that he have seen, what Ferrari means for the people of Italy.
I think he can win races this year in a Ferrari.
I think so. I think it will be great. I have to say, with my independent cap, I think it will be good for the team, good for Charles to keep pushing also on himself, and it will be good for the entire, field of F1 teams.
Cadillac are joining the grid in 2026 has been confirmed. Originally in F1, inside F1, you weren't that enthusiastic, so what has changed?
Changed completely the fact that now GM is totally involved. It's part of the shares of the team. There is a long-term project to be involved as a manufacturer.
I love the fact there'll be 2 more drivers on the grid.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure that the dance around these 2 seats is quite active in this month.
That's true.
It will be interesting.
Well, thanks for all your information, Stefano, and chatting to us.
Thank you, Martin.
I'm all for a Bangkok Grand Prix.
Aren't
we
we
might
all?
not come home.
I mean, I don't know if I'll make my flight home from that, but it will be fun, and I think it'll be good racing, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say, it could be a street circuit round Bangkok, which would be an interesting one. They're always looking for new things, hence F175 and what they did at the O2. I mean, they talk about that. It was first time that they've ever attempted this. In case you didn't see it, it was off the charts in terms of entertainment. It was a marketing competition as much as anything else, as they all introduced themselves. But it got cut through to the younger generation, didn't it? Which is what they're trying to do.
It did, 100%. And not even just the younger generation, but just bringing the show to the fans was wonderful to see all the people in the room getting close to the drivers that they support, getting close to the teams they support. Wonderful production as well. But yeah, I think there's always room for growth. It was their first time trying it, and I think they started in a great place.
They did, yeah. And with Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferraris, we were saying just about how it keeps going, notches up, doesn't it? We had Drive to Survive, which has taken it into a different stratosphere, and then all of these things. Lewis, one of the producers of the new F1 movie, and the latest trailer dropped earlier this week.
Some people look at Sonny Hayes. They see a guy who lives in a van, a gambling junkie who missed his shot, the best that never was. But I see possibility.
And if you don't love me now, we'll never...
My Rook is a phenomenal talent, but he's young. You plus him, boom, I got a team.
When was the last time you won a race?
Sunday, Daytona.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Formula One.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then same as you.
There's this new guy. He's old. He's such a... He's quick, though.
If you had any constructive criticism for each other, what would it be?
Don't be such an...
That was constructive.
Wow.
Did you win something? There's 20 other drivers still out on that track. Do you think any of them respect us?
saying Sonny Hayes isn't a has-been. He's a never was.
If the last thing I do is drive that car, I will take that life, man. 1,000 times.
I'm offering you an open seat in Formula One. The only place you could say, if you win, you are the absolute best in the world.
Never break the chain.
Doesn't it look great? I mean, we've seen a lot of what happens behind the scenes. We've seen their big crews on the ground, but I just can't wait to see what the movie's going to be like. What do you make of it all, Simon?
It looks amazing, doesn't it? I mean, we're going to miss them this year. They were effectively the 11th team anyway in the garage, so I don't know what the issue was about bringing Cadillac in. Not sure we're going to get an invite to the premiere because I think it was Silverstone. We can probably say it now that they've wrapped production and all that. We wandered up, myself, Naomi and Jensen, to Brad at the front of the grid, tried to get a selfie, and then the note came back to us a little bit later on saying that we'd interrupted Mr. Pitt's process. So apologies to Brad if he's watching this. If he's not, then yeah, that's the
Also,
reason we're not going.
I think it's fair to say we're not going to make the cut. We try to get, you know, in the back of the scene. So I don't know. Have you spotted yourself yet, Simon? Any of the trailers?
No, I think I might have spotted Natalie in that one, and I think Rachel might have a scene, but who knows? Who knows? We shall see a bit further down the line. Now, some big news from the paddock as well. We need to bring you up to date with, and that is that a bird has escaped inside Ferrari. These are the latest shots at the moment. There it is, and they currently have evacuated quite a few people. I'm not sure what that's going to do for the cutlery and for the plates. Suffice to say, we won't be invited in there to eat either, so it doesn't run at that.
I mean, I think it's quite... It goes to show everybody wants to be a fly on the wall at Ferrari at the moment, including the bird, and it's the only one who really got in. So
yeah, exactly. Flexi wings on that bird as well. There we are. That's a topic for discussion. Quickly, though, before we go, tomorrow it's obviously one of the most exciting... It's one of those exciting days of the year, right? Isn't it? Qualifying, I just love it. The first race of the year.
It 100% is. Look, we've been speculating for long enough now, and tomorrow, truly, I think when that flag goes down for free practice, for qualifying, I should say rather, that's, you know, when the flag drops. What's the saying, Simon? The ... stops, right? We'll find out what's going to happen finally.
We really will, and you know, will those two be right up? There are decisions to be made as well, because it's going to be 36 degrees and bright sunshine tomorrow, and then potentially the rain on Sunday. Back for qualifying from 4:15 in the morning, and Sunday 2:30 on air, 4 a.m. for lights out. You can either stay up or you can set your alarm early. That's up to you, but we'll see you, we hope, over the weekend. Bye-bye.
Sky Sports F1.